2 days here within the St. Alphonsus Goodwill Parish Hall, and 1 day on the field. Together with CARDI, FAO, the OECS Commission, WUSC, and ICA, as technicians, as farmers, sharing and learning together our experiences so that we can build our capacity and really see white potatoes as it is a staple crop in our diet, but a staple crop that is grown, produced, harvested by our farmers, that our farmers can get a piece of that $8 million US going out, can stay within. So as we're here for the 3 days, I will not go too much in depth into the technical aspects. That will come out later when our good friend addresses us in the technical session later. But I'd just like, as a welcome remarks, just like to welcome everyone here today, and let's have a fruitful and productive 3 days. Thank you, everyone. Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stevenson, for your hearty and inviting remarks. I see that you're excited about the upcoming 3-day session. We now turn to one of our developmental partners, and as we said that Ms. Boomerang Exevo will be representing Dr. Renata Clark, and so I call you now to the podium to share the remarks.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Oh, just making sure we all had breakfast. Thank you. All protocols established have been observed. Thank you to the chair and members of the head table. On behalf of Dr. Renata Clark, Sub-Regional Coordinator of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, Sub-Regional Office of the Caribbean, it is indeed a pleasure to be here with you this morning and to be a participant in this session. We considered our invitation here to be quite important and support your development of your capacity in white potato production and marketing within the OECS and external. We extend even greater sincere thanks and appreciation to the government of Dominica for hosting this event and being a leader amongst the OECS in collaboration with the OECS Commission, development partners, and other agencies who worked hard to make this event possible. Having heard that white potato and seeing it is a main staple in your diet, as well as that of most Caribbean persons most persons in the Caribbean region, it is considered a commodity of economic importance. Recent trade data do suggest and concur that almost 8 tons of fresh potato is consumed annually within the Caribbean. Within the OECS, the ministers have come together and responded and indicated there is an urgent and important need to develop a viable, competitive white potato industry within your sub-region. With this in mind, and confirming it does connect to our regional priorities and initiatives. Dominica's long-standing experience with white potato production is considered a homegrown model which the other OECS countries can learn from and provides the foundation for development of an industry. The presence of the 6 OECS countries here today is testament to the positive indication of the growing interest and the desire to learn from one another's experiences and for it to be driven by farm-to-farm experiences as well as technical-to-technical cooperation and build their own national industries. We are here collaborating with you, connecting our own international funded program projects, a gender-responsive, climate-smart agriculture and food systems in the Caribbean, and using this event not just as a mechanism to support participation, but also to enhance and emphasize the importance of us to learn about production practices and consider the implications of climate-smart technologies and practices to improve production and productivity, as well as to being more inclusive by considering the needs and the constraints of women and youth in this exchange, and consider them active participants in this journey. Your journey is not just about growing potatoes. It's about creating opportunities, reducing vulnerabilities, and strengthening economic and nutritional security for your communities. Over the next 3 days, you will have an opportunity to share and learn about production, marketing, and value chain development. You will develop a framework for to strategically develop the industry that would guide you nationally when you return home and set the foundation for the beginning of regional collaboration through the identification of priority actions needed to transform the white potato industry from a high import commodity to one that is driven by locally produced, commercially viable crops. I encourage all participants to engage fully, share your experiences, ask questions, and explore partnerships. The success of this initiative depends on your collective commitment and innovation. Remember, look beyond production. Consider market access and consumer demand. What do we need to do to meet it? Production requirements, growing zones, where can we find them? Financing and credit, how do we find access to finance and markets to support our farmers? And the important role of research and extension services. Together, we can build a white potato industry that is resilient, inclusive, and profitable if you are committed to achieving food security and economic growth within the OECS. On behalf of the FAO team, I wish to thank you for inviting us to be a part of your journey. We look forward to working with you to turn these discussions into concrete actions for white potato development in your region. Thank you, and I wish you a productive and inspiring session. Good morning.
Thank you, Gomara. Thank you very much for delivering the remarks, and thank you, Dr. Clark, for being online. We also want to thank the Food and Agriculture Organization for the continuing technical support and, importantly, financial support to a number of our projects on island and within the region. Our collaboration in Dominica with the FAO is vital to ensuring the success and sustainability of the white potato industry within our territories. We now acknowledge the contributions of another regional and international partner. At this time, we have Mr. Greg Rawlins, representative of the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture within the Eastern Caribbean states, live online to bring to us greetings and share some insights into the role of and ICA's role within this initiative. And we go now to the Okay, so Michael? Yes. So let me just introduce. So we have Michael. We have another ICA representative, and I think he is also aptly able to deliver the remarks on behalf of Mr. Rawlins.
All right, good morning, everyone. Unfortunately, we're having some technical challenges here, so I will deliver the remarks from the ICA representative for the Eastern Caribbean, Mr. Greg Rawlins. I wish to adopt the protocol that has been so ably established and allow me to recognize Honorable Julian Defoe, Minister of State in the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, Blue and Green Economy. His Excellency Dr. Didicus Jules, Director General of the OECS, Dr. Renata Clark, FAO Sub-Regional Coordinator for the Caribbean, Ms. Ruth Augustine, President of the National White Potato Cooperative, Dominica, representative of the participating OECS states, representatives of development partners, OECS, FAO, CARDI, WOS, and other ICA technicians for participating in this event. I wish, on behalf of the Director General of ICA, Dr. Manuel Otero, and the entire ICA family, to add words of welcome to each and every one of you who has joined us, whether in person or by virtual means, for this workshop on capacity building to support white potato production and marketing in the OECS region. In May 2025, at a special meeting of the OECS Council of Ministers of Agriculture, at ICA headquarters in Costa Rica, a request was made to ICA's Director General, Dr. Manuel Otero, for support to efforts in the OECS region to commercialize white potato production and marketing in the sub-region. In response to this request, a proposal was developed by the representation in close consultation with the OECS Commission for the consideration of the Director General, who approved the funding for the conduct of the White Potato Capacity Building Workshop for the OECS countries. The focus on the commercial production of white potatoes is a recognition by the ministers and others that large quantities of white potatoes are consumed in the OECS region on an annual basis. Indeed, figures obtained from the ITC database indicate that 8,890 tons of potatoes, valued at $7.6 million were imported into the sub-region in 2024, the last year for which data is available. The ITC data also shows that there has been an increase in both quantities and value of imported potato, fresh and trilled, annually over the last 5 years. That's from 2020 to 2024. We have recognized from the outset that the commercial cultivation of white potatoes is not a common occurrence in the OECS region, and that apart from Dominica, which has over 40 years worth of consistent production, there is no other country in the region with that capacity. But the experiences of Dominica show us that we have the ability to produce white potato, particularly in some of the countries which have high elevations that provide the microclimate for the crop to thrive. Indeed, last year, the Institute embarked on a preliminary mission of support for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, organizing a white potato study tour to Dominica in conjunction with excellent support from the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, Blue and Green Economy here in Dominica. Back then, 5 persons had visited Dominica from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, from the Ministry of Agriculture's Extension and Advisory Services and Research and Development divisions. Now we seek to go a step further by working collaboratively with our partners here in Dominica, as well as with our regional and international partners, to provide for a wider engagement across several countries, including British Virgin Islands, Dominica, Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. As envisioned, this is a capacity building activity that brings together stakeholders from across the region to share knowledge and insights into the production, marketing, distribution, and consumption of white potatoes. We anticipate the participation of approximately 50 persons, including technical officers and representatives from the Ministry of Agriculture, CARDI, ICA, OECS, FAO, and WUS Caribbean, as well as other institutions, and very importantly, the farmers in Dominica involved in white potato development work. In addition to providing a space to generate and share knowledge on the commercial production of white potato, the workshop will also serve as a platform to develop a strategic framework for national and regional collaborative action on the development of white potato as a commercial commodity in the OECS countries. Both are important priorities. Not only must we acquire and share knowledge here, but we must also develop a framework for future collaborative actions, as we certainly cannot accomplish all we need to do to build a competitive white potato subsector in the OECS through one workshop activity. This collaboration that we envision has to be a broad-based partnership of persons and institutions within the sector, many of whom are present here today. And we give recognition to this partnership, to the OECS for its leadership in advancing the agenda of the ministers, to FAO for their great support for the workshop through facilitation and sponsorship of 6 participation from Grenada, and CARDI for their research work on the commodity in Dominica, Grenada, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. To WUS Caribbean, who will be sharing important experiences based on its own extensive work on white potato in Dominica, Jamaica, and other countries in the region. And to the ministry here in Dominica for their excellent support. Similarly, we recognize and appreciate all the other ministries of agriculture represented here, and the farmers, marketers, development bankers, and all else for your support for this activity. Let me also take this opportunity to thank the ICA team in the Eastern Caribbean states. In particular, the delegations in Dominica, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent in the Grenadines, under the leadership of Mr. Michael Dalton, technical specialist, for coordinating the planning of this workshop in close consultation with all the partners. It is this presence and participation of all stakeholders in this workshop which will ensure that we advance in the most efficacious way to build out a white potato subsector for the region and in the process contribute to the targets for regional food import substitution as contained in the CARICOM 25% by 2025 plus 5 and the OECS FAST strategy. As we advance this agenda for white potato cultivation, I urge that we remain very sober and pragmatic in our approach. White potato cultivation comes with its own set of technical challenges that impact on the yield and thus economic viability of such an enterprise. The crop performs best at high elevations with moderate temperatures for good yields. Then there are disease challenges which have to be carefully managed to ensure crop viability. Beyond that, while widely popular, we have to also recognize that in the context of nutrition, this is not a commodity which is as nutritious as sweet potatoes, which presents with less technical difficulties. So we have to consider all of these issues as we proceed and be very realistic that there is an opportunity for input substitution, but not wholesale replacement. And we must find that balance in our approach as we seek to map out a strategy to expand this activity within the goals established for achieving food and nutrition security. ICA remains committed to supporting efforts of other member countries to develop agriculture through actions such as this, which is very specific and for which there's a clear mandate for action. In closing, I wish you all every success and encourage participants to take full advantage of this opportunity to gain knowledge and to share their experience. I also look forward to receiving the conclusions and proposed follow-up actions arising from this important workshop so that we can collectively determine the next step in what must be a sustained effort to develop the commodity. Thank you all very much. Those are the remarks from ICA representative, Mr. Greg Rollins.
Thank you, Mr. Dalton, for delivering it so eloquently, and thank you, Mr. Rollins, who is online right now. We did hear the buzzwords in terms of import substitution, food security, and so I think that we can maybe build on this for the next 2 days. We also acknowledge the contribution, as I said previously, of ICA and the continued partnership. At this time, we also look to another regional partner. As you know, we've been hearing about the OECS and we've been hearing about the number of our member states that are represented here today. And so we know that the OECS Secretariat serves as a much-needed conduit, bridging the gaps between the various agencies, such as ICA, FAO, and strengthening the bond between the various territories, which we all are members of, serving as one voice, one goal, and sometimes making the need for similar efforts to ensure food security and sustainability. So please join me now in welcoming. We have a video from Dr. Didicus Jules, Director General of the OECS Commission, who will offer remarks on behalf of the Commission and reaffirm the OECS collective vision for agricultural resilience within the member territories.
The Honorable Julian Defoe, Minister of State in the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, Blue and Green Economy, Dr. Renata Clark, Sub-Regional Coordinator, Food and Agricultural Organization of the UN, Mr. Greg Rollins, Representative of the Inter-American Institute of Cooperation in Agriculture in the Eastern Caribbean States, representatives of the Caribbean Agricultural Research and Development Institute, Dorian Etienne of Dominica, Dr. Jem Thomas Barry of Grenada, Mr. Donald Jackson of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, colleagues from our ministries of agriculture, farmers, researchers, financiers, and partners, good morning. It is a pleasure to join you here in the Commonwealth of Dominica as we take a decisive step towards transforming agriculture in our region. I would like to frame today's gathering for exactly what it is, a landmark moment in the journey from food security to food sovereignty. Why are we here? Across the OECS, agriculture is standing at a crossroads. For too long, we have depended on external food sources, exposing our people, our economies, and our health systems to global supply shocks, high import bills, and the rising cost of living. The OECS Food and Agriculture Systems Transformation Strategy, called our FAST, is our 10-year roadmap to change that. It calls on us to do several things: to grow more of what we eat, to process more of what we grow, to trade more with each other, to strengthen resilience to climate change, to empower youth, women, and people with disability and rural communities, and create a modern, competitive agricultural economy. And today, with this sub-regional workshop, FAST becomes real. We are no longer planning transformation, we are doing it. White potato development may seem like a small chapter in that story, but in fact it represents the perfect intersection of the FAST strategy's core objectives: food production, climate-smart agriculture, regional cooperation, value chain development, and private-public partnership. So why white potatoes, and why now? The data speaks for itself. In 2024, OECS member states imported 8,842 tons of white potato, valued at US $7.56 million. White potato is a staple on our foods, on our tables, and is a major hole in our food sovereignty. Dominica stands today as the OECS's only consistent commercial producer, backed by decades of experience. But in the last 2 years, something important has shifted. St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Grenada have established their own trial plots with support from CADI. St. Vincent's technical officers have benefited from AICA-supported study tours to Dominica, and other OECS countries have expressed interest in cultivation to offset their domestic demand. This momentum tells us that the region is ripe, indeed hungry, for a coordinated strategy. Yes, white potato cultivation is challenging in the tropics. Yes, tropical diseases like late blight and early blight must be carefully managed. Yes, our microclimates require innovation, research, and careful agronomy. But if the Caribbean can grow dasheen on volcanic slopes, peppers in scorching heat, and pineapple on marginal lands, then white potato is not beyond our reach. Over the next 3 days, in this workshop, you will examine Dominica's production model, looking at policy, extension support, marketing, and farmer perspectives. We will do field trial findings from Grenada and St. Vincent. Look at CADI's research into varieties and yield performance. And examine experiences from Jamaica, the Dominican Republic, and Cuba, countries that have transformed white potato into viable industries. And importantly, you will collectively craft the strategic framework needed to scale production across the OECS. So this is not a meeting for meeting's sake. This is capacity building with purpose, grounded in data, technology, and regional action. Colleagues, I want to emphasize a particular point, that food security is the ability to feed ourselves, but food sovereignty is the power to control how we feed ourselves. Food security allows us to survive. Food sovereignty allows us to thrive. And potatoes, as humble as they may seem, hold tremendous potential because they are a major imported staple, creating a large existing market. They can support new agribusinesses from seed multiplication to packaging. They offer income opportunities for youth and women entrepreneurs. They can help diversify diets and strengthen nutrition outcomes. They reduce import dependency and keep foreign exchange circulating in local economies. When a region begins to grow what it consumes in high volume, it unlocks a psychological shift. We move from dependency to self-determination. That is the essence of sovereignty. The OECS FAST strategy teaches us that agriculture is not a single activity, it is a system. For white potato development to succeed, we must treat it as a full value chain: seed access, climate-smart agronomy, disease management, financing for farmers, research and innovation, extension support, storage and post-harvest handling, market linkages, data-driven planning, and private sector engagement. This workshop is designed exactly around that systems approach. The agenda reflects every pillar needed to transform this commodity into a commercially viable and regionally integrated sector. I urge each of you to embrace the spirit of collective innovation throughout this workshop. Let us be guided by Dominica's 40 years of experience. Let us learn from the trials in Grenada and St. Vincent. Let us leverage the expertise of our partners, FAO, AICA, CADI, WUS. Let us think regionally, act collaboratively, and scale confidently. And let us go beyond possibility thinking to execution thinking, because the people of our region can't eat potential. We need production, we need reliability, we need sovereignty. The FAST strategy envisions an OECS that is dynamic, resilient, competitive, and food secure. It envisions rural communities thriving, youth seeing agriculture as technology-rich enterprise, women leading agribusiness innovations, people with disability unlocking their productive capacity, and countries trading more with each other than with external suppliers. This White Potato Initiative is the first tangible milestone on that road. It is therefore not just a technical workshop, it is a commitment to a different kind of future. So let us move forward with purpose and determination. Let us do the hard work of transforming our agriculture systems. Let us prove that small states can think big, collaborate boldly, and achieve sovereignty through unity and innovation. I thank you, and I look forward to the rich outcomes that will emerge from this gathering.
Defoe, Acting Minister for Agriculture, Fisheries, Blue and Green Economy. Ms. Honorable Defoe has a wealth of experience within the marine space and serving as the Minister for Fisheries and also as a parliamentary representative for a farming and fishing community. And of course, he's a masterful orator. Minister, the floor is yours.
Okay, blessed good morning to all. And well, as our moderator or MC stated, I had a well-prepared speech, with all of the facts and figures, and I read it. But I wish to say something before I deliver the address, and perhaps my entire address may just be without even referring to the notes. But I won't do that. It's because even if my passion and my career path has been in the marine field, maritime fisheries. I've always, for my entire career, been within the Ministry of Agriculture, come to think of it. So my entire career, because fisheries has always been under whatever ministry that agriculture is. And I will say that my career prior to politics in 2022 has always been within that realm. And I would say from very early on in my career, I've always been around the senior level people and attending senior level meetings and planning and strategies and so on. And for all of these years, I have learned and heard so much about white potato, because usually, we are all senior come together. When we plan as a ministry, there is fisheries, there is agriculture, and sometimes we would have environment, but for a long time now we don't have forestry anymore. So, I would be there listening to the argument, and it's not until today, I always thought that all of us was involved in white potato, and all of us was growing white potato. So it's only now I'm learning that Dominica has been the one for the past 40 years, have chosen to lead and to make this crop a yearly cycle in its cadre of crops that we focus on. And the reason why I say that, because when you think of it, and even today, a vast amount of white potato that we consume, it has almost become a culture like saltfish. And saltfish, I mean, not that we do it ourselves, but cod itself. Because codfish has become so much part of a West Indian culture. And let's say in that setting, since we're speaking about the OECS, and OECS culture, that the younger generation, perhaps those who are not too aware of fish and fish species, would almost think that it is a fish that we produce. So similar to white potatoes, and the fast food industry has taken on so much internationally and within the region. Everything is something with chips, pork and chips, fish and chips, something and chips. And every day, and these businesses are growing exponentially all across. So it is almost certain that most of I would think of our local people, whether those practitioners, would think that, we produce vast amount of white potatoes. And if we can just tackle that alone in itself and do it well, and I'm very focused on saying doing it well, then I think the 2025, if you notice now, we have put a plus, and that is the trend. So right now, it's 2020, it's achieved 25% reduction in import by 2025. We could not do it. We have now put a plus. And I'm almost certain if we don't do what we have to do, when the 30 reach, we'll see 30 plus plus, as you have seen in many of the international arrangements and agreements, where the plus is becoming a common thing to put, because we are not able to meet many of the targets that we have set for ourselves. So I'm just saying that based on the knowledge and sitting around these great guys like Kian and so on over many years, and listening about the potato, listening to the challenges. And I'm very happy this year, because a challenge that we have always had, again, sitting around the room, I used to hear, it's too late, boy, potato, reach in December, them and going to get it in January, and they're going to plant it in February, that's way too late. And preferably, I've always been hearing, I'm just saying that we'll want to get it in November, so that people can plant by December. And I'm very happy this year, being in the ministry, we have done all that we could, get the financing, try to pay the people who sell the potato seeds very early, and keep our fingers crossed with the shipping logistics, that we now have the potatoes, everything is sorted out, and farmers are collecting potato seeds. So I was just saying to Kenan on the side there, that I'm hoping and I'm thinking this year, we're going to have very good results. Other years we have had many good results, some mix and so on, but knowing that this time, seeds are on time, we are early, I'm hoping. So, I can say a lot of things, and I say a few words, but, it's an area that interests me, not because my background has been filled, but any progression within the ministry, any progression within Dominica, and especially OECS. Those of you who are visiting would not know, but I don't mind how my hair look and my skin look. I don't think there is no more greater advocate than me for fostering, Pan-African movements and OECS movements and CARICOM movements. Sometimes my appearance seems to deceive people a bit, but I am a nationalist person, and my nationalist sentiment is not Dominica nationalist. I see OECS as a one economic space. That is why we have always promoted it. That is what it was meant to be, and slowly but surely, I see we are making moves towards really cementing that. Again, for the second time, I say I can go on and on, but let me go to the task at hand today. So, if you may, Mr. Chair, Mr. Stevenson, Chair, I would like to accept that you have dealt with everybody in the protocol list. It is very long, but of course we must give special attention to Mr. Didicus Jules, Ms. Renata Clark, Dr. Clark, Dr. Rawlins, all of people who I have known throughout my career, so I can refer to them as that, and they will appreciate that the sentiments that I'm echoing. These are special mentions I need to make. Our PS also couldn't be here, attending the family agent's situation abroad. Of course, Honorable Roy, we all know, which the minister himself within the ministry, an avid farmer himself, and very passionate about agriculture and the promotion of agriculture. And I have to ask, that's the thing when you say don't mention people, but I must mention our team of experts from Cuba who have been with us for quite some time. And of course, their technical expertise have been immense in helping us even within our same potato regime. So it is again my pleasure to welcome you all to the Commonwealth of Dominica, the nature isle of the Caribbean, for this important sub-regional workshop on capacity building to support white potato production and marketing in the OECS region. The presence reflects a strong commitment to advancing agricultural development, strengthening food security, and deepening cooperation across the Eastern Caribbean. And not even elections could stop from our colleagues from being here, because usually when you have elections, it's that everybody, no movement. And even right after elections, St. Vincent is here. Even in the mix of elections, St. Lucia is here. So I applaud your extreme effort to be here. I extend sincere appreciation to the regional institutions. I will name them by acronyms because we all know them by now. The OECS, the FAO, ICA, some people say ICA, CADI, and WUSC. Whose collaboration and support have been instrumental in bringing this workshop to fruition. I also acknowledge our staff, farmers, and stakeholders, whose resilience and innovation remains at the heart of our agricultural transformation. This workshop brings together the expertise and leadership of our ministries of agriculture, regional organization, farmers, researchers, and development partners. Over the next 3 days, you will engage in focused dialogue on how we can expand white potato production, improve technologies and practices, and develop a sustainable and competitive value chain across the Eastern Caribbean. This demonstrates our collective determination to build resilient agriculture systems and advance the shared prosperity of our very dear region. We are honored to host such a distinguished group of partners, experts and practitioners whose collective knowledge and dedication continue to shape of agriculture in our region. As a minister, I wish to affirm Dominica's unwavering commitment to regional cooperation and to the vision set out under the OECS FAST strategy. So all of us in agriculture already only give me the acronym here, but I've heard it so many times and I worked on it. Okay, this is the food and agriculture. Who can finish with me? System transformation. All right, and the CARICOM goal of reducing food imports. The work you begin here will contribute directly to building a more food secure, climate resilient, and economically viable OECS. White potato remains a major staple in the Eastern Caribbean, reflected in import volumes of over 8,800 tons, valued at 7.6 million in 2024. Well, we can just round it off and say 8 million. Dominica is the only country with a long-standing commercial production experience, and several OCS member states, including St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, St. Lucia, St. Kitts and Nevis, have recently begun research and trial production in partnership with agencies such as CADI, ICA, and FAO. These efforts respond to the call from OECS Ministers of Agriculture for deeper regional collaboration to expand domestic production capacity. Dominica's agriculture agenda is firmly anchored in strengthening food security, promoting sustainable production systems, and building resilience in the face of climate change. Our National Agriculture Policy and Action Plan provides a clear framework for advancing the white potato industry by increasing productivity, improving market orientation, and supporting farmers through the value chain. Our policy priorities include expanding domestic food production to reduce dependency on imports and improve food and nutrition security, advancing sustainable agricultural practices, including reduced chemical inputs and efficient water use technologies, modernizing farming systems through new technologies that enhance productivity and competitiveness, and diversifying crop production to create new market opportunities and support economic growth, especially in rural areas. Today, Dominica's White Potato Program is geared towards strengthening the value chains, enhancing post-harvest systems, and improving market access. This work increases farmers' income, expands employment opportunities, and support rural development, particularly for youth and women. At the same time, we acknowledge the ongoing challenges facing our agricultural sector, including climate change impacts, limited access to finance and technology, and an aging farming population, and an increasing global competition. Projects such as the Dominica Emergency Agricultural Livelihoods and Climate Resilience Project, we used to call CREP or DIL-CREP, address some of these challenges by providing tools, seeds, targeted training, and improved resilience and productivity. And I just want to hint that this project was supported through a loan agreement via the World Bank. The government of the Commonwealth of Dominica, the Ministry of Agriculture, remains committed to enabling a thriving white potato industry through modernizing financial resources through the Aid Bank and the NDFD, which is the National Development Foundation, to support farmers during the white potato season and encouraging private sector partnerships, delivering training, advisory services, land preparation support, and continuous collaboration with CARDI, WOOSC, and other partners to advance research, new varieties, and improve production systems. Investing in resilient farm roads, irrigation systems, and enhancing post-harvest handling and facilitating market access through packhouse operations, quality standards, agro-processing expansion, the stronger farm-to-table linkages, promoting climate-smart agriculture, improved seed material, integrated pest and disease management, and the digital tools for data collection, market information, and farm management, and equip farmers with the best practices in production, business development, and value addition, with special focus on the youth and the women. In shaping our national approach, Dominica has embraced a system-based model for white potato development in the OECS. We have benefited from lessons learned through the Jamaican experience, the work from Mr. Alvin Murray, and the World University Service of Canada, WOOSC, from interventions implemented here in Dominica. These insights continue to guide us as we strengthen regional collaboration and build a sustainable, competitive white potato industry across the Eastern Caribbean, such as the White Potato Development Initiative in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This sub-regional workshop on white potato development brings together approximately 50 participants, including technical experts and policymakers from the Ministries of Agriculture, development partners from across the OECS, CARDI, FAO, ICA, WOOSC, farmers, credit institutions, and the marketing agencies who will engage in discussion and technical sessions over the next 3 days to strengthen the region's capacity to produce and market white potatoes. This initiative directly supports the CARICOM 25 by 2025, now +5, effort to reduce food imports and advance the OECS food and agriculture system transformation, which in short is the FAST strategy. This workshop provides a platform to share practical knowledge on production technologies, disease management, marketing systems, and value chain opportunities. It also supports the development of coordinated national and regional strategies to build a viable white potato industries across the 6 targeted countries and territories. It will provide a clearer understanding of national priorities and production realities across participating countries, strengthen technical capacity in production, research, marketing, and value chain development, and a draft strategic framework to guide collaborative white potato development efforts throughout the OECS. This workshop will reinforce our shared commitment to strengthening white potato production and marketing across the OECS space. Over the next 3 days, participants will exchange practical knowledge, identify strategic priorities, and deepen collaboration amongst governments, farmers, research institutions, and development partners. The discussion will clarify the opportunities for expanding production, improving technologies, enhancing value chains, and build a resilient and market-driven industry. As we move forward, the insight and strategic framework to the development here will guide the national and regional action, strengthen partnerships, and support our collective goal of reducing import dependence while improving food and nutrition security. Together, we will leave this workshop better equipped, better aligned, and better prepared to transform the white potato industry into a sustainable pillar of agricultural development in the Eastern Caribbean. On behalf of the government of the people of Dominica, I wish all participants a productive and engaging workshop, and I look forward to the meaningful outcomes that will strengthen our shared efforts in building a sustainable and resilient white potato industry throughout the OECS space. These few words, I wish to say thank you very much and all the best for the next 3 days.
Thank you very much, Honorable Defo, Honorable Minister, for those insightful and encouraging words. Your continued leadership and commitment to strengthening the overall agricultural sector provides a strong foundation for the work we will undertake over the next 3 days. So thank you once again. So we are now almost at the end of our opening ceremony, and in everything we must give thanks. So therefore I call on to the podium Mr. Ricky Joseph, Treasurer of the National White Potato Cooperative, to deliver the vote of thanks. Make him feel welcome.
Morning to all, and greetings to everybody in there as well, but protocol have been established. And sorry that our president that should be doing this remarks, she can't make it because of her work schedule. But the White Potato Cooperative want to thank everyone that is there. Those from St. Vincent, I think I met one of the gentlemen, a few of them right on the right-hand side there, the last time that they were there. St. Lucia, the British Virgin Island, and Grenada, I think that's what we have there. We're very thankful that you're here, and you will have a lot of wealth of knowledge that will be passed on to you. And the White Potato Cooperative is truly something that you in your St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and the British Virgin Island and Grenada, you should try to emulate in terms of trying to have a cooperative at an early stage, because it's going to help you to move on with trying to plant your white potatoes. We have 3 years in establishing that we are White Potato Cooperative, and we are being thankful for those who have helped us quite well as well. The Ministry of Agriculture who have helped us to be on that footing. So in all of that, we are hoping that you will enjoy your stay on island. It's a beautiful island. I know you're going to go through the terrain of Dominica, very green terrain, mountainous as well, but you will enjoy it. I'm hoping that everything works out well in the workshop. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jody, short and sweet. So we'd also like to thank our developmental partners, those online, the technicians, farmers who are here today, and of course the media for the live stream and for carrying the proceedings. And all formal remarks have been delivered. So I would just like to say right now, we have officially opened the building capacity in White Potato in the OECS. It's now declared open. So we take a short break, but for those of you online, please come back in about 15 minutes when we get into our technical session. Thank you, everyone.